You're not choosing Android. Your brain is choosing it for you. And most Android users have no idea this is happening. Think about this for a second. If I gave you the best iPhone in the world, completely free, no catch, would you switch? Most Android users would say no. And that answer has nothing to do with the phone. It goes much deeper than that. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what's happening inside the minds of people who will never, ever switch. This channel is about understanding why people do what they do. And today, we're not picking a side. We're not saying Android is better or iPhone is better. We're asking a different question. Why does the choice feel so personal, so emotional, so non-negotiable? Because it's not random. There are real psychological forces driving this loyalty. And once you see them, you can't unsee them. 5 forces. Let's go. Here's the first one, and it's bigger than most people think. For a lot of Android users, the phone isn't just a device. It's a statement about who they are. Psychologists call this social identity theory. We define ourselves by the groups we belong to. Sports teams, beliefs, and yes, phone brands. Many Android users see themselves as a specific type of person. Someone who thinks independently. Someone who looked at the Apple hype and said, I don't follow crowds. That's not just a preference, that's an identity. And here's where it gets scary. When something becomes part of your identity, your brain treats any threat to it like a threat to your survival. Switching phones stops feeling like a decision. It starts feeling like you're betraying who you are. That's not stubbornness, that's your psychology protecting you. Now here's where most people get trapped. Psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky discovered something that changed how we understand human decisions. Losing something hurts twice as much as gaining the same thing feels good. So when an Android user thinks about switching, what does their brain actually see? It doesn't see a shiny new phone. It sees everything it's about to lose. The familiar layout, the muscle memory, the years of Google history perfectly synced, the settings dialed in exactly the way they like. All of that registers as loss. And loss, to the human brain, is painful. On top of that, the sunk cost trap kicks in. I've been on Android for 8 years. I can't just throw that away. That's not logic. That's the brain holding on to what it's already invested in. And this next part explains everything. You don't stay on Android because it's better. Sometimes you stay because leaving hurts more than staying. This is where it gets really interesting. Google hasn't just built a phone, they've built a psychological web. Gmail, Google Drive, Google Photos, Google Maps, YouTube, Google Pay, Android Auto. Every service you add makes leaving feel harder. Not just technically, emotionally. But there's something even deeper going on here. Psychologists say one of our most basic human needs is autonomy. The feeling that we are in control of our own life. Android gives users that feeling. Custom home screens, default app control, full file access. The phone feels like yours. Switching to a more locked down system doesn't just feel inconvenient. To the brain, it feels like giving up freedom. And people will fight hard to protect their freedom, even when the cage they're in is one they built themselves. Here's the one that most people never notice in themselves. Once we believe something, our brain starts collecting proof that we're right and quietly throwing away proof that we might be wrong. It's called confirmation bias. And for Android loyalists, it runs deep. Every iPhone glitch gets noticed and remembered. Every Android problem gets dismissed. All phones have issues. But here is where it gets scary. There's a hidden belief underneath all of this. Many Android users believe, I'm smart enough not to fall for Apple's marketing. That belief becomes part of their identity too. So switching wouldn't just mean changing phones. It would mean admitting they were wrong. And the brain will do almost anything to avoid that feeling. So zoom out for a second. This was never about phones. It was about identity, needing to feel like a certain kind of person. Loss aversion, the pain of giving up what you've built. Autonomy, the need to feel in control. And confirmation bias, the way your brain quietly filters reality to protect your beliefs. These forces don't just explain phone loyalty, they explain why humans hold on to almost anything, long after logic says let go. Here's the question I want to leave you with. The next time you feel a strong resistance to changing something, a habit, a belief, a choice you made years ago, ask yourself one thing. Is this me thinking clearly, or is this my brain protecting itself? You don't have to answer out loud, but it's worth sitting with. If you're an Android loyalist, drop a comment. What would it actually take for you to switch? And if you want to keep understanding why people do what they do, stick around. See you in the next one.